Alright, we finished off with this, drawing some shapes and labelling them, and the next thing we're going to do is, in fact nothing's going to look any different, but we're going to make another change to actually how we position things in a canvas. And what we mean by that, well, so far what we've got is a set of shapes labelled, and the canvas is sitting in the middle of the browser, so it's centered. The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to use the dimensions of the 600 by 600, and we're going to move the origin, which sits there, down into the middle, so that means that our x values will go negative and positive and negative. Now that's because a lot of stuff that's done, animation and things like that, that's the way it's done. You kind of move your origin into the center. With Scratch, for example, it's in the middle, so we're going to do along those lines, and we're heading towards that, comparing the Scratch and Canvas stuff, and so this is the next thing we're going to do. Now, to give you an idea what I'm talking about, here's a diagram of what exists at the moment. A canvas grid, 600 by 600. These are the numbers, so if you draw something around about there, then your position would be 400 and 250, etc, etc. But if we translate the origin from there to the middle, then what we finish up with is it looks like this. And so when it's translated, you might say 50 minus 250 or something like that. The thing that makes it a little bit different to Scratch, if you like, is that the x is positive this way and positive that way, but the y is positive that way and negative that way. So by translating the origin down to the middle, then what we're doing is we're creating a negative region up in there for both the x and the y, and a positive region down here. So we've got to keep mindful of that so that we don't get ourselves too confused. Alright, so now that's fine and dandy, but what does it actually look like when you put this or something similar to this in using that? Well, this is what the script looks like. Down here, this is the same original shapes script that drew a line, a rectangle, a triangle and a circle. However, there's one extra script line being put in, and that is it there, and that's what you say. Context translate 300 300. So we've got a 600 by 600 screen. We translate the origin to the middle, 300 300, and to get the diagrams in the same spot, you then have to start thinking along these lines instead. So you should probably go back to your original shapes and have a look and replace them, once you've put this in, with these new numbers. Or if you want to, save yourself a bit of bother and go straight to the second one, which has got that structure to it, lines, rectangle, triangle, circle, and put that in. And if you have a look, the start positions are different. The things like size and so forth don't change. So the rectangle has a starting point, and then how wide is it, how deep is it, and this is the same thing. So it just starts in a different spot. Here, same thing again. The triangle's down in the bottom right, if you think about it, so all the position numbers are positive. And the circle, which is on the left hand side, has a negative x value but a positive y value, so it starts in that position instead, but everything else pretty much stays the same. You've still got the same colours and stuff like that. So what you can do is make these changes, put that in and see what you get. Now I'm not going to bother too much about adding all this stuff in here. You can do that. So if you go to your translated shape, then you're going to have to translate the start and finish, the start positions for these texts as well, so that they still stay in the same spot. And I'll let you do that. And the other thing that I haven't done yet, and you don't have to do it if you don't, but you can if you wish, you'll notice that I've RGB'd up here, but I haven't bothered to RGB down here yet. So you can leave them the way they are, or if you want to, you can RGB them instead. 000, 00255, 25500, etc, etc.